All right. Again, I don't have any injuries for you, and we look forward to the challenge of playing the 49ers. We start our Wednesday practice today. It's very similar to what we do in season, and get ourselves ready to play against a good football team. Time's yours.
Yeah, Andy, Brad Childers, I was talking to Brad Childers, and he told me that there was a North Dakota State play that caught your guys' eyes when you were looking at tape of Carson Wentz. I was curious, do you remember taking that play and using it, and is that an example of how you've added to your arsenal over the years?
No, absolutely. We borrow from. If it's good, we're gonna sneak it from you and put our own spin on it and then claim it, right? That's how coaches do. But yeah, no, we snuck a couple things from Carson's offense there.
Hey, Andy, to your left, near the front. Tom Melvin has been with you for a very long time. I'm wondering what that association has meant to you and why it has been so long-standing.
Yeah, well, Tom played for me at San Francisco State, and he's been with me at different stops. When I was an assistant coach coming up, he was doing the same thing. And so when I became a head coach, I had an opportunity to hire him, and that's what I did. Loyal, good coach, good friend. So.
Andy, over here to your left. Many of the people close to you, coaches, players, and friends, have always described you as this vivacious character, personable, humorous, and yet you've long been known for not revealing very much about yourself to the public. What were your motivations behind that when you originally started being a public figure, and why have you continued to be that way for the most part?
Yeah, so when I'm standing here, you guys have a job to do, and you don't need a comedian up here giving you stuff, and so I try to at least give you something that you can work with as a story and do your job. And then some of you guys that know me away from it, I mean, I'll let my personality show from there, but other than that, doing this, I try to keep it as professional as possible for you. Where's Vahe? All right.
Andy, good morning. The other night you mentioned that you have plays named after Hank Stram, and without asking you to give away the store, I wonder if you could give an example of what one of those might sound like, and also what are your thoughts about 65 toss power trap?
Yeah, that was a good play for Hank. We're not running it right now, but that was his go-to. But we meet in the Hank Stram auditorium or meeting room back at the facility. Obviously, his legacy lives there, which is great. I mean, we have a tremendous amount of history there with the Chiefs. And so we do have a play that is a Hank play, and I can't tell you what it is, but we use it, whether we call it at the line of scrimmage or we call it in the huddle, we use that term.
Andy, what is it that you may have learned from the other Super Bowl you were in to the approach this week for this Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's Howard, it's the fact that you've been here and you've done it. I think you have that. If there's anything comfortable about it, is that you've been there. You know what to expect coming down here. You can kind of relay that to your team. You have an idea how you want to practice. You want to think if you haven't been here, you want to think that you can get a ton done down here, practice-wise and meeting-wise, but you have other obligations, so you better get it done back at your home facility, and then you can kind of sharpen it up once you get here. Did I change anything since we got down, or from the first time? Yeah, there are a couple little things, just not huge, but there are a couple little things. Yeah.
Andy, back
Right,
here.
Okay. There you
How
go.
did the way the season ended last year shape your off season, and was that any different than another year when you're not in the playoffs or the season doesn't end such a heartbreaker?
Yeah, well, I mean, we came up short last year. None of us. I mean, it kind of fell on D, but it wasn't D at all. It was all of us were 4 inches short, and everybody took that responsibility to heart. We could have all done a better job, and I talked to the team about it after the game. You know, when we were still whole as a team before we went into the off season. And so I think the guys went out and attacked the offseason. They had a taste of getting to the championship game and losing it, and that's not a very good feeling. But there was something they could do about it, and that was get busy and have a great offseason, a great training camp, and try to maintain your focus throughout the season. So I think the guys have done that. I'm proud of them for taking that approach.
Andy, you've got such a tremendous taste in quarterbacks. What is it that you look for in terms of not just Patrick Mahomes, but even your Eagles history? What are you looking for when you're trying to identify a quarterback that you believe can be upper echelon?
Yeah, I mean, in its simplest form, that they can play the game, number one. Number two, that they're a leader of men or of people. And in our case, because the guys are playing, that they can lead those guys and make everybody around them better. And the great ones do that with your whole organization. They make everybody a little bit better. So you try to find out what kind of leadership ability the player has before you bring them in, and if they have those qualities.
Andy, what went into your thinking a few years ago in terms of targeting Sammy Watkins in free agency, and what has he brought to the offense last few seasons?
Yeah, so I'm a big Sammy fan. I thought coming out, there weren't a lot of receivers that I had seen play better than him at the college level. He went to Buffalo. He sustained some injuries, in particular a couple to his feet, which is tough on a receiver. And so when we got him here, I felt like if we could just keep him healthy and maintain that, kind of rehab him and get him back, both mentally and physically that way. That's a tough thing when you're first round pick and you get hurt. I mean, unfortunately, you get labeled. And so he's fought through that and really done a heck of a job for us. And I know he didn't make the Pro Bowl, but he's Pro Bowl caliber player, all pro caliber player. He's a big part of what we do.
Andy, there's a limit to what you can control in the draft. How concerned were you guys that somebody might see what you saw in Mahomes and take him? And how would things have been different for the Chiefs if that had happened, if Mahomes had gone in the top three?
Yeah, because of the media attention that gets put on the draft and around that time, what people talk, and we had a pretty good idea who was interested and who wasn't, and so Doris was in charge of the draft at that time, and he maneuvered up to get him, and knowing who was out there and who the threats were. Well, we wouldn't have had Pat. I mean, that's and he's pretty good. Now we were fortunate that we had Alex there, and so we were comfortable with Alex too.
Coach Reid, good morning.
Good morning.
My question is about Eric Bieniemy's situation. How ready is he becoming an NFL coach at this particular time? What are the strengths and what are the areas that, in your view, he need to improve? Thank you.
Yeah. So you're welcome. Eric Bieniemy is a head coach. I'm Eric Bieniemy's biggest fan. I think he'd be a great head coach, and I thought he was going to have an opportunity this year. It didn't work out for him. But when I talk about leaders of men, you're not going to find a finer one than Eric Bieniemy. So he knows all the buttons to push. He's got a great offensive mind. He's my offensive coordinator, and he organizes everything, and he's the one that's calling the plays into the quarterback and does, he got great, I think he's phenomenal. I really don't think he needs to work on anything to become a head football coach. I think he's ready to go, and he just needs that opportunity to get in and go.
Andy, hey, good morning.
Morning.
Federico Olvera from Mexico City, from Deport 13, from Radio 13. Andy, how will you, talking about the clock time, how will manage it since San Francisco 49ers drives is longer and you guys tend to score quickly? And in order to win, what do you have to do to get the Vince Lombardi Trophy the next Sunday?
Yeah, so we really haven't scored quickly, like you're saying here, the last couple games. We would like to do better in that area. If it doesn't, this team's not going to panic. We're going to do what we have to do to win the game from whatever situation we're in, whether we're ahead or behind. We loved our opportunity to go play in Mexico City. I thought that was a great bonding time for our players. The people there were phenomenal and treated us like gold there. So.
Coach, you guys work so hard as a staff, and sometimes with some short weeks, there's barely enough time to get stuff in. You've got all this extra time now. You got a lot of stuff done last week back in Kansas City. I mean, do you wish this game was today? I mean, what's this next kind of few days like for you, and can you have too much time to prepare for a game?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I like the way it's set up right now. I like our schedule, the itinerary that we've put together. I think it's good for the players to get work done, to stay sharp, fresh, and give them an opportunity to play at their best. So there's always room to polish the game plan, and so that's what you do down here.
Andy, I wonder if you knew Chris Dolman at all over here.
Okay, all right.
I wonder if you knew Chris Dolman at all. He passed away overnight. I know you faced him quite a bit when you were in Green Bay.
Say, I didn't hear Chris.
Chris Dolman, who passed away last night. I wonder if you knew him at all from coaching
You know what?
Green Bay.
I met him. I didn't really know him, but I know he was a phenomenal player, and I had teams that had played, obviously against him, and my heart goes out to him. I know the struggles that he's had here the last little bit. Okay.
Coach,
Yes.
hi. Last time you were in the Super Bowl, you faced a great quarterback coach duo in Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Does it give you any sense of tranquility knowing that you and Patrick Mahomes maybe are that next great quarterback coach combo in the NFL?
Yeah, it's about the only thing I'm young at right now. So we're young into that relationship. He's young in age. So we've only been doing it here together for a couple of years, where Bill and Tom have been doing it for forever. They've proven to be what they are. So both Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers. So I look forward to my time with Patrick, and hopefully that happens with us. But right now we're a work in progress.
Andy, I was curious what you were hoping to get in Tyrann Mathieu when you looked into him this offseason, and has he brought that to your team?
I'll tell you, he's been everything and a little bit more. We had heard he was a good leader. He's a great leader. He's a phenomenal person. He's overcome a whole lot of things, and really is just solid. And you love being around him. He loves to play the game. I joke people that we have this key in this cage, and we just unlock the cage and let the badger out, man, on game day. And he loves playing, man. I mean, he brings it every play. He does it in practice. He does it in the game. He's fun to be around.
Coach, your team had a pretty rough series in October, early November, losing 4 out of 6, including 3 at home. Did you do anything specific to correct that? And basically, how did the team rebound it from that rough series to where it is today?
Yeah, so normally seasons give you that. They'll give you a rough spot that you got to work through, and you kind of bank on a good locker room and good coaches, and so that's what I did. And the guys pulled together. We got a few guys healthy, and kind of got the numbers back up to where we needed them. And our rotations, we put those back into use and started playing well.
Hey, good morning, Coach.
All right, Herbie.
Clark Hunt yesterday mentioned he senses a heightened sense of maturity in Tyreek Hill, and I'm curious, how much have you seen also since he signed a contract extension?
Yeah, Tyreek's done a nice job with having signed the contract, but also his life off of the field and managing that. And so, I'm proud of him for that. To see growth in somebody, you like to see that with these young guys. And so he's doing well as a father, and he's doing well as a football player. And, we're lucky to have him. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Patrick. As a fellow professional athlete, what was the best advice that your dad ever gave you? And what is your favorite or some of your favorite memories of being in the clubhouse with him at a baseball team? And I would imagine you were too young to remember the Twins.
Yeah, my favorite memories were just taking and shagging BP and then taking BP with some of the guys that my dad played with, especially when he was on the Mets. I think that's when I really started first remembering a lot of things, and Mike Hampton and all those guys when I would go out there and shag, catch fly balls and stuff like that. And then the best advice that my dad and mom always gave me was just to be the best you can be. And that was in everything, if that was sports or if that was in class or whatever it was, just be the best person that you can be at that.
Patrick, we saw last month you had the touchdown in Chicago and you counted to 10. I wonder how often you think about how fortunate you were to land with the Chiefs specifically, and how your career could have taken many different roads if you'd ended up somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I ended up in the perfect place. To have Coach Reid and these coaches around me, to have Alex Smith in front of me for a year and be able to learn from him, and then obviously to have all the players that I have around me. I'm in a place where the team was already a winning team, a team that had a lot of success, and I came in, was able to just be who I am, be who I am, and ended up being able to win a lot of football games early in my career.
Good morning, Patrick. Every Chiefs fan were grasping for air in October when you injured your knee. against the Denver Broncos. What went through your mind? Because it looked very serious. Did you think that maybe your season is over? And how could you recover from this injury so fast?
Yeah, I for sure had those thoughts a little bit whenever I had the injury. I think the biggest thing was I looked down and I knew my knee didn't look right, and I thought the worst. But at the same time, when I got back to the locker room and talked to the doctors, they were very positive. And then the next few weeks, with the training staff, they worked me hard to go out there and rehab and do everything the right way, and it helped me be able to come back fast and be healthy at this point in the season.
Patrick, how have you and Sammy Watkins kind of connected the last few seasons, and what makes him such a vital part of your offense?
Yeah, I think Sammy is a vital part in our offense because of everything that he does in our offense. Obviously, he's had a lot of big games and big moments for us in the playoffs, especially these last 2 years. And then the way he's able to just attract defenders, get some of the best cornerbacks to cover him so other guys can get open, able to recognize the coverages on the fly and get himself open. I mean, he's a guy that's very vital to our offense that's really helped us get to where we're at.
Patrick, Coach Reid talked about your leadership. How big a role are you playing this week specifically in kind of keeping the guys grounded with all the distractions that are happening during Super Bowl week?
Yeah, I think Coach Reid has put together a great plan for us where we can do stuff with the media, we can do stuff outside of what our normal routine is, but at the same time keeping it as normal as possible. And so with the practice schedule that he's had, with the meeting schedule that he's had, I've really felt like we've kind of kept it rolling just like we would have done if we were in Kansas City.
Patrick, over here to your left, can you talk a little bit about Laurent Duvernay-Tardif and how impressive it is what he's been able to accomplish, and would you ever ask him to diagnose an injury?
Maybe if it was last resort, I'd ask him to diagnose it. But for me, it is very impressive with all the work that you have to put in to be great at this sport, and how much studying you have to do that, to be able to go in the off season and get a doctorate degree. And I know how hard that is. It just shows that the hard work and dedication that he has, not only to being a football player, but just to be a person, and that work ethic travels and translates to every aspect in life.
Hey, Patrick, I know that you've been on every major stage, but this is the biggest stage. I just wondered, do you pray? I mean, at times like this, you got to get scared, right? A little bit?
Yeah, I mean, prayer is something that I do anyways, regardless of what stage I'm on. So that's something that's personal to me that I do. But it's not about nerves. It's about going out there, having fun, enjoying it with your teammates, and just enjoying the place that you're at now, and having fun every day you get to be here.
Hey, Patrick, you're already one of the most popular players in Kansas City sports history at a really young age, but I'm curious, off the field, what made Kansas City, or the city of Kansas City, a good fit for you?
It was the people. The people are what really drew me to Kansas City, and what I hope I get to play there the rest of my career now. I mean, just the people and how they accept you, how they care about you more as a person than they do as a player, and how much passion that they have for the Kansas City Chiefs is it's special, and it's somewhere where I want to be for the rest of my career.
Hello, Patrick. Good morning. Right here. Championship teams always find a way to come back, overcome adversity. You've done that against Houston. You've done it against Tennessee. Just talk about what are the keys of getting out to a great start, especially in a game like this and against the defense you're about to face.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the last 2 years that I've played, I feel like we've always got off to great starts and scored a lot of points. And with the last two games, we haven't been able to do that. And so for us, it's about just going in there with the right mindset, not trying to do too much, staying within the game plan, and just playing like we played the last three quarters of both the last two games. And if we do that and just execute it at a little bit higher level at the beginning of the game, we can hopefully not fall behind like we have the last 2 weeks.
Patrick, Jose Villalba from Multimedios in Mexico. Both you and Jimmy Garoppolo, your winning percentage are very, very high. What do you think are the similarities for both of you, Jimmy Garoppolo and yourself, in terms of winning quarterback? What do you think makes both of you such winners?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jimmy would say the same thing. I mean, just being in the right organization with the right coaches, with the right teammates. I mean, in this league, it's not about one person. It's not about a quarterback. It's about your team and how you go out there and play as a team and play together. And so I think with me and him, we've been put in a lot of great situations, and then we've just tried to maximize that every single day that we get those opportunities.
Hello. Good morning, Pat. Federico Olvera from Mexico City for Radio 13. How do you consider having played baseball helps you to throw the ball effectively? And what do you think are the keys you guys have to do in order to win the next Sunday?
Yeah, I think baseball helped me a ton just with being able to throw off platform, be able to just having to throw accurately across my body and whatever way possible to make plays. And I think that competitiveness and that kind of off platform stuff really helped out my game. And the keys to the game are going to be who takes care of the football, who goes out there, doesn't hurt themselves, and just execute at a high enough level. And that's every football game. And we understand that it's going to be a great challenge, and we're going to go out there and try to execute at a high enough level to find a way to win.
Patrick, obviously the relationship between the quarterback and the center is important. How has your bond with Austin Ryder developed the last 2 years?
Yeah, Austin's awesome, man. He's a good guy. He's someone that has really developed as a football player, especially with this year. And I think just having that relationship with the center and the whole offensive line is huge. And I feel like in this team, everybody's connected from defensive line, offensive line, all the way to the quarterback and running back, receiver, DBs. And so just having a team that the bond is that tight, it helps out a lot as the season goes on.
Patrick, I know Andy Reid has helped you as a quarterback in your development. How has Mike Kafka helped you in your development as a quarterback with the Chiefs?
Yeah, Coach Caff, I mean, he's a great coach. He's someone that he makes sure that I do whatever it takes every single day. He's every single day he's there to push me to be great, to push me to be better. And so sometimes I get mad at him because he's making me do stuff that I don't want to do, but he's making sure that I'm doing the fundamentals and preparing the right way every single day. And that you have to have someone like that will push you to be great if you want to go out there and have success in this league.
Hey, Patrick. Jacob from Fox Sports Mexico. Can you talk about the fact that you joined Dan Marino and Kurt Warner as the only quarterbacks to win MVP and make it to the Super Bowl in just your first 3 seasons in the league?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Anytime that you're mentioned with names like that, I mean, it is special. And so I understand that this is a great opportunity to be here. And I'm going to enjoy it and just go out there, have fun, and try to be the same guy that I am every other week of the year.
Patrick, yesterday Rob Gronkowski said that he doesn't think there's a clear favorite for Sunday's game, but he feels like Kansas City might have to score on each drive if they want to have a chance to win. But considering the Chiefs have a better scoring defense than the Niners, at least during the regular season, what do you think, or do you think that statement is a fair statement?
Yeah, I mean, I think in any football game, you never know how the game's going to go. I mean, it could be a lot of points scored. It could be a no points scored. And I think it's all about how you find a way to win. And so we understand that there's 2 great offenses, there's 2 great defenses, great special teams units. I mean, that's why we're in this game. And so you don't know how the game's going to go, but whatever way it does, it's about finding a way to win when it does.
Hey, Patrick, yesterday Damian Williams was telling us a story over there about you had him run down and close his eyes and throw a ball to him that he caught. Can you just give us a little idea of things like that you do in practice to kind of get these guys where you want them to be?
Yeah, that's just something where we joke around and have fun at practice and do stuff like that. And I think Coach Reid lets us do stuff like that. And I think it's more about just seeing what we can do, seeing what we can't do, and then being able to go out there during the game and do the right things. And I think having a coach like Coach Reid who lets us show our personality, lets us have fun every single day, it keeps us loose and keeps us ready to go during game days.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Good morning.
Beyond the obvious, why is it so important to try to get a Super Bowl for Andy?
I mean, we love him as people, man. He's like a father figure in the building in terms of a football mind, man. He's changed the game unbelievably for not only myself but the league wide. Everyone's kind of taking notes and follow lead with the things he's been doing on the offensive side of the ball. So I think I think this would just solidify his career even more so than what it already has been. I know he's the best quarterback in the National Football League. You guys can figure out all the accolades and everything after that.
Do you think he has the personality to carry that?
I think he already is, if you ask me.
Travis, obviously you have a brother in the NFL as well. What has that meant to your career, and have you talked to him about this week?
I haven't talked to him quite yet, but I'm not here if my brother isn't in my life. I mean, we're both firm believers that we helped each other competitively, athletically, to get to where we are in life. And sure enough, I've been following his footsteps everywhere he's been. I've been and found success in that. It's a cool feeling, man. I'll save this jersey forever just because of how unique this situation is. I mean, it took me 7 years to get here, so maybe I'll be lucky to make it here if I play another 7 years. Yeah, my pups, man. Rambo and Chauncey, man. Hopefully they're not tearing up the house. My favorite part of Mexico is the fans and their engagement. It's just a different vibe down there. It was a little bit different situation in terms of just not everybody had the Chiefs and Chargers uniforms on. It was kind of more of an international feel where everybody had their player that they loved, and they just wanted to come and see a football game. So. Yeah, I was expecting a good crowd, and Mexico City definitely didn't disappoint.
Because we're trying to reach one goal, and we always try to be mindful that everyone has a role on this team, so that's what's got us here. Oh, nah. What's up? Yeah. How far he can throw the ball, his accuracy, and just, I mean, everything about Pat is special, man. He's a very special kid. He's a rare talent. You know, I feel like he's one of those talents that come around like once every 50 years. You know, a guy who can do no-look passes, a guy who's accurate, a guy who can scramble, a guy who can really do it all. So he's very special. That was pretty funny, huh? That was pretty dope. Probably my favorite Andy Reid story. It's not really a story, but there's like this video on Twitter of him like kicking a ball or whatever. Like he's like standing beside like other kids. He's like a giant. That's probably like the funniest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, that. Dang, he ran you over. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, we ought to know who the fastest. The fastest is Sammy Watkins, man. That's the fastest. He the fastest wideout. Sammy Watkins is the fastest wideout, man. I don't get into those fast arguments no more, man. You know, I just let my play show. I'm trying to be the best receiver in the league. Hey, why you ran him over like that, though? hey, we need you on 4th and 1. You just ran him over. Huh? You getting smaller? No. Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. I can go back and go to sleep.
2017 BYU Media Day, he talked about being a coach isn't just about teaching the X's and O's, it's being a teacher, communicator. How have you seen that part of him in your time?
Yeah, any chance he gets up in front of us, team meetings or on the field, he's coaching us up, and you can definitely kind of see that the way that he approaches things. He likes to break things down, likes to teach, likes to take those opportunities to teach, and so and he does it in a personal way.
How's your relationship with Tyron grown this year? Obviously, especially during this postseason, we've seen you guys really react to each other a lot on the field together.
Yeah, it's been fun just being around him. He's a fantastic football player, incredibly smart, and the leader of not only the DBs but the defense. And so he's great to have around. He's got a lot of energy, especially on game day. You can really feel his passion, and so he gets us going.
When you guys won the AFC Championship game, your brother Cody, he got that video with Paul Rudd. Did you get a chance to see that at all?
Oh yeah, he showed me when we got back to the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to meet Paul after the game, or?
I've met him a couple times. A lot of those guys are on a lot of the Kansas City games, and so they're very supportive. They come around. We love having them. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you.
Won the belt, so it was like you kind of got rewarded for your performance, and then there was a National Tight End Day, which was I think in October or the first week in November, but Kittle's got that whole thing going, man. He's got the wrestling like swagger. He's got the belt going, and then obviously everyone falls in line. Yeah, and with everyone that had won it previously had signed it. So I saw Mark Andrews' name on there. I think I saw Felsley's name on there. There's a few guys that have won it twice. I mean, it just shows you how appreciative the tight ends are of the craft, of the work throughout the league and league-wide, really. I think George does an unbelievable job of making sure he reaches out and shows respect to the guys that have been playing this game for a long time, as well as I have in my career. But for him to create something new for all the tight ends to kind of come together and rally behind, man, that's cool. Well, I feel like we've taken steps every single year to get better and better. First, it was making the playoffs, then it was getting a divisional win, then it was getting a home win, home field advantage, and it's kind of just been gradually getting better and better. And now we're where we've always dreamed of being and always had a goal of being, and just got to come here and take care of business.
We're really here together, but it's definitely been fun, definitely been special, and definitely got a championship in high school and got to get a championship Sunday together.
And what was that? Just going back to your high school career, what was that like playing for the council? Like WCC was like always competitive with the Gonzaga. What was those games like, and what was it like?
It was fun, man. I think the funnest part was maybe just the practices, just the talent that we had, the competitiveness of it. Every Friday night, every Saturdays, those games, you knew you had guys that were the best in the country. So it was definitely competitive, definitely fun. I think it helped a lot of guys get ready for that college football level.
And how much do you still keep it you still follow the council football?
Yeah. So I was excited to see them win the championship again this year.
Just talking about
we was going like talking about your brothers. What have they been telling you like throughout the week? Like your brother Kyle, like what did they tell you to get you ready?
Mainly just staying locked in, just knowing all the other stuff that guys can get, you know, locked into instead of the game. So I think right after the AFC Championship game, you know, Kyle just shoot me a text like, hey dog, I know the game next week, but make sure you have a good week of practice this week. So just allowing me to be locked in, focused, you know, not letting any outside noise kind of get me away from the task at hand.
Kendall, can you tell me about Sam Madison? How's it been working with him?
Yeah, it's been fun, man. Sam brings so much energy to the group. You know, it feels good just to have guys, you know, in the room, coaches, you know, on all phases that just want to see you succeed. You know, he's been there as a player, so just to see him coming as a coach and just want to see us have success and just bring that energy to help us get to our full potential has definitely been helpful for us.
What do you know about his playing days? When he played here in Miami, across the tan, or do you know much about him?
Yeah, we know about it. Just the success that he had in the league, and just that fire that he had. You know, Coach Spag showed a video of him playing. I forget what game it was. He was mic'd up in New York, and just that energy, that passion, that fire that he had. So, and guys been getting on him about his laugh. Because the whole video, you just hear him laughing the whole time. So you'll hear guys just imitating his laugh anytime they walk by him. But he always got a smile on his face though.
Well, what have you learned about him? He likes to talk though. He'll get talking.
Oh yeah, he'll talk. He'll still talk trash to us a little bit too.
All three your brothers figure for the game?
Yes.
I think so. That'll be
Yep.
Kendall, I know these kinds of things happen with good teams, but you made some sacrifices, right? Just to make this defense work. I'm not sure that's been talked about a little bit. Can you describe what that's been like from your side, what those sacrifices have been?
I mean, once I went down, you know, they just kind of, you know, looked at it as like, all right, what's best for the defense? And Tyron being so, you know, dynamic as a player, being able to move inside of the nickel, which she's done pretty much his whole career. And, you know, I think just early on, just being in the new defense, everybody kind of just trying to find the little kinks in the defense and just learning the defense. And I think just after a couple weeks, after Tyron had been there at the nickel, you know, the defense started getting into a groove. Everybody started learning the ins and outs. Everybody started finding it, and you know, it was kind of easy though, because you see so many guys doing different roles. Dan in there doing a different role, Tyron in there doing a different role. So kind of just going into it, you know, you see so many guys just sacrificing just for the betterment of the team. And Tyron at the nickel was finding his groove and things like that. So, you know, I always prided myself on. I always knew I wasn't a safety, but I always prided myself on knowing that I was a complete DB, and that's my DB coach.
He's upped it a little bit. Practice it's since we've had 2 weeks. This week's is more of like icing on the cake, getting our legs back, making sure our cardio's there, our conditioning's there for this heat. We've been playing in the cold a long time. He takes a lot into consideration, but the one thing with him is keeping everything the same. No, we're staying loose. Everyone, you can tell everyone has a good energy, just ready to play this game. We were ready last Sunday, honestly, but like Coach Reid would say, you kind of keep it cool, calm and cool until you're ready to hit them, and boom, yeah. Well, we know we've come out to a slow start, so that's in the back of our head, and we just know that it's a Super Bowl. You know, you don't want to leave anything hanging out there, nothing on the field. So everyone's going to leave it all out there, and I believe that'll lead to a great start.
No matter what.
Never in life you've ever had pressure.
Nah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, this is going in his inner self and not caring. When you don't care, you don't have no pressure.
Why do you think you're that way?
I really don't. I'll say I don't really care about consequences. I just live with the moment, and whatever happens.
You know that's a great way to live.
Yeah, because if you're worried about consequences, you're never going to take the risk.
That's right. And you've always been that way.
Correct.
Were you raised that way?
I don't think I was raised that way. I think it was naturally instilled.
How good a basketball player were you?
I could have made it. I could have made
NBA?
it. Yeah, 1,000%. I'm a mixture of Kobe Bryant, Paul Pierce, and Ray John Rondo. They used to call me LeBron and Rondo.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Power forward, small forward?
Small forward.
Small forward.
Yeah.
You all state or anything?
All state, all of that.
Why didn't you pursue basketball?
When I went my junior year, when I went to the All-Star game, I believe those players outperformed me on a level, on a high magnitude. And I knew I already had committed to Mississippi State. I didn't want to take the opportunity for another kid who had the opportunity to broadcast his talent on that level and take that opportunity when I knew I was going to play football.
As a football player, if you had to give me a quick scouting report on Chris Jones, how would you do? What would you say about him?
He's a dominant player.
A dominant player?
1,000%. A dominant player. Turn on the film, you're going to see him dominate some stuff.
Do you expect to dominate in this game?
I expect to follow the game plan rules.
Don't dodge that question. What do you do?
That's the question, man. I expect to play within the game plan, within the scheme, and not make my DC mad at me.
Well, what makes you...
Dad, Uncle are going to be down here and got the whole shebang going, so it's going to be a fun time. As soon as everyone else gets down here, it's a crazy city, man. So it's going to be. I can only imagine how much fun they're going to have. I mean, I think we can all take a note or two about George Kittle and how he lives life, man. It's contagious. It's contagious. His energy, just the type of person he is. You can tell he cares about the success of the guys around him just as much as he does himself. And obviously, his blocking is tenacious. He does an unbelievable job of getting crazy in the run game, but at the same time, it's like he has the same mentality when he has the ball in his hand. He's just a wild man.
Play for a team that has a chance to win a championship. I tell people I'm very lucky, right? To be able to get paid and play for a team that's a contender. But I knew in the back of my mind, like, those things came with a great responsibility. You know what I mean? I think the narrative would be different if we wasn't in this position, and I didn't play as well as I did, and our secondary didn't play as well as they did. So it's important for me to just be grateful for the things that do come my way. But I'm just trying to continue to work hard, man, knowing that that's what we're expected. That's what people expect the most, is for you to show up the day after you get paid, the day after you win a championship. And so I think that right now that's my focus, to continue to get better, continue to get the guys around me better. I mean, I think, obviously, I think my journey kind of built me up to, have some grit, be strong enough to face challenges and, try to overcome obstacles. I think I had a lot of good people come into my life. They really believed in me, supported me. And I think people underestimate that, right? They underestimate good people and, the kind of impact they can have on your life. And so I'm grateful that, for the people that came into my life. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate the challenge. It's been a lot of talk. It's going to be a lot of talk about, what we're capable of doing and, how good the other side defense is. I think we understand the challenge, though. I think me personally, I understand, Kyle Shanahan and how creative he is and how we can't underestimate that, right? But I think this run game is just so dynamic. They move so many pieces around. And I think the biggest thing is people underestimate the 49ers offensive line. Like, those guys are athletic. Like, they can get out. They're big. They're maulers. Like, they can play that game. So it's going to be important for us to kind of have an attitude, you know what I mean? Like, have an attitude when we show up Sunday and, you know, understand that, you know, they like to run the football. They have fun doing that. Well, you know, I think ultimately anytime you play in a big-time football game, any meaningful football games, right, I think those big boys up front, they realize that, you know, every play matters, right? Every play counts, and those guys are trying to play as hard as they can. So, you know, it's like the old ball coaches say, man, the game going to be won in the trenches. And I think offensive lines, defensive lines, they begin to take it personal, right? They begin to get nastier and edgier, and, you know, little guys like me got to watch out. I mean, that's extremely impressive to have those 2 titles. You know, obviously I couldn't fathom, you know, working towards a doctorate degree and playing football. I feel like both of those things are a great responsibility. It requires, you know, a great deal of patience, right? And obviously a great deal of studying. So, you know, really hats off to him, man, for being able to accomplish those things. Not many people in the NFL, you know, is a doctor and a football player. So I'm very happy that he's my teammate.
So, but it's definitely fortunate. You know, it's a fortunate situation to be in, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
You're one of 2 guys that's been here before on this team. Pat's talked about how he's kind of relied on you, picking your brain. What have you told him about playing in the Super Bowl, about this week, and kind of what's your opinion now that he's your teammate and the type of player that he is?
Well, you know, it's easy to kind of get distracted and to get caught up in everything. But I mean, I think all of us, not just, you know, myself and the team, is doing a good job of kind of realizing, like, you know, this portion of it is this portion of it, but we know the reason why we're here, and it's to play another football game. It's to win the last football game of the year, and to enjoy it. You know, I mean, it's going to be the biggest stage. There's no guarantee you'll ever make it back here again. You know, it took me 8 years to get back, so I'm just telling the guys to enjoy it, man.
Yeah. What about Pat as a player now that he's your teammate? What is your thoughts now that you're seeing him up close, day in and day out of practice?
Well, you know, a guy like that, you can see why he's the MVP. You know what I mean? Not just on his talent, you know, and his physical capabilities, but just his personality and his relationship with everybody in the locker room. You know, your starting quarterback plays basketball in the locker room with your D lineman. You know, that's pretty special too. So, you know what I mean? He's got a relationship with everybody, not just receivers.
The last one I got for you is Frank Clark told me that you tell him you're 37 years old Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, you're 26.
Yeah, absolutely. On Sunday, you know, I get to get out there and be a kid. You know what I mean? But when it comes to everything outside of football, Monday through Saturday, I'm like, man, I'm 36, man. I'm in bed, you know, watching some film, watching a good movie. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. No problem.
Bro, you said earlier, it took you 8 years just to get back here. When you look down and see that patch on your jersey,
Yeah.
you know you're playing in the Super Bowl, man. You know you don't take these moments for granted, right?
Right. I mean, there's no guarantee. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think Dan Marino only played in 1 Super Bowl his whole career. You know, you got to look at, you know, learn lessons from the past. Like, not everybody get to be, you know, a quarterback and get to go 6 years in a row, 6 out of 7 years or something crazy, something like that. So that's very rare. But, you know, when you get there, you want to, you know, take advantage of it and definitely appreciate the moment, enjoy everything, enjoy every minute.
What are some of the younger guys asking you, trying to pick your brain this week about how to get ready to play?
Well, they asked me about what the game is like and comparing to how it was when I came last time. And I was like, it's pretty much all the same. It was just then I didn't get to enjoy it. You know what I mean? We was under, like, we got to win. We was under extreme amount of pressure, but this team seems a lot relaxed, and it seems like we play our best when we are relaxed. So I just tell them, enjoy everything, man. You know, Sunday will get here. You know, enjoy Tuesday. This was yesterday. Today, you know, I'm telling them the same thing. Enjoy Wednesday. You know, every minute of it. You know, we got 1 week, you know, for the Super Bowl. So we want to enjoy every day and every minute of it.
How big is this for legacy for a player? I mean, you've won one. How important is it to enhance the legacy like this?
Qui nous aide à marquer plus de points. Ben, premièrement, son bras, je veux dire, la précision et son habileté à lancer dans toutes les positions possibles. Lancer un ballon à la vitesse qu'il lance en étant débalancé sur un pied, en retraite, avant de se faire frapper par un joueur défensif, c'est pas évident. Donc ça en un premier temps, puis après ça, ben, sa lecture du jeu est juste incroyable. Il est capable de faire les bons appels, être capable d'envoyer sa ligne offensive du bon côté, d'avoir cette mentalité-là que peu importe ce qui arrive, même quand on tire de 24-0 dans un match de séries éliminatoires, d'avoir toute la confiance en lui pour revenir dans ce match-là. Marquer 3 touchés de suite sans qu'une offensive adverse marque aucun touché, c'est quand même difficile à faire, puis on l'a fait les 2 dernières semaines sans même vraiment douter de nos habiletés. Donc je donne beaucoup de crédit à Pat pour ça, puis son habileté de leader dans le vestiaire est vraiment incroyable.
Tu parlais du Super Bowl de la semaine après, tout ça. Qu'est-ce qui te surprend jusqu'à maintenant, ça fait 3-4 jours que c'est arrivé? Qu'est-ce que c'est des choses qui te surprennent un peu plus que l'année d'autres? Ça passe comme ça?
Ben, ça, je veux dire, en fait, aujourd'hui, à 8 h le matin, de faire des médias, tu sais, moi, je m'attendais à ce que ça soit le lundi soir, puis après ça, probablement comme entre nos meetings puis la pratique, comme on fait habituellement à Kansas City. Puis là, de voir ça, tu sais, tout de suite après déjeuner, boum, tu t'en vas dans une salle, puis...
But also, too, he sees the blessing and the opportunity that this has given him, because now, I mean, look at us. We have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl, okay? So what's more important, to sit back and complain about what's not going on, or be supportive and making sure that he's helping in any way that he can to help us to accomplish the goal?
And you have obviously a spoiled riches on the offensive side, but what specifically does Travis Kelce do to open up the offense for you guys? How much does he make your job easier because of it?
You know what, Kelce's a tremendous athlete. He works his tail off. He's one of those rare skill sets, and I know the other team has one too as well. You know, he's a big kid, he's very athletic. I mean, his vision, his ability to understand what's taking place in coverages, all those things make Travis a unique individual. He works his tails off, he studies, he prepares. So those are the things that make Kelce special. And then on top of that, he just wants to win. So whatever he can do, and he understands that time, they may double it, you know what I mean? And so he knows someone else is coming open. And so that's the thing I love about our team. It's not just what Kelce brings to the table, it's the chemistry. Our guys work hard and they play for each other. They understand what it means to be accountable. So when you have that accountability factor, the chemistry that they have, because they love to play for one another and play with each other, the sky is the limit when all that is clear.
Appreciate it, sir.
No problem. Thank you. How you doing? What's up, brother? How you doing?
When your quarterback came back from the first Tennessee,
people know, like, I'm well prepared for this battle that's ahead of me.
Is there a power to speaking it, like putting it into existence, just saying it? I mean, is there a power to that? I mean, it seems like guys, you said it and then you backed it up and guys kind of rallied around it. There's help when you say it.
I mean, you speak it into existence. You want to be able to speak things into existence. You know, that's kind of been my life. You know, I've had to speak a lot of things into existence because I've never had them. You know, some of these guys have won championships their whole life. National championships, high schools, player of the year awards and stuff. I've never had nothing. So my fire is a little bit different than theirs, you know. What I'm working for and what I'm working to is a little bit different than theirs. They've had all this glory and all this, you know, all these lights and stuff like that. I'm not working for, you know, the glory and the lights. I'm working for the glory. I love the glory, though. Don't get it twisted. But it's the lights and all the extra stuff I don't really care about. I care about winning football games, and I want to be a champion. Man, like I said, it's not winning stuff. You know, it's been at a point for so long of being so low, you know, and not winning and not, you know, and not having success. You know, you get to a point where you starve for success and you starve to win, you know, more than anything else. You know, you're willing to do anything through preparation and stuff like that. You know, it's just I'm willing to go to any point to win. So, I mean, I won a lot. I played for Glenville Tar Bloods in high school. You know, I think we have the most players in the NFL ever in the history. So it's like, you know, Glenville Tar Blooders, you know, we won a lot of games. I believe we only lost an average of 1 game a season. That was in the playoffs, but we never won a championship. I never was a state champion in football. I never was a national champion in college with Michigan, and I never won the Super Bowl in the NFL. So I'm starving for one. Mama just played some good old solid football. Yeah, some good old solid football. Y'all gonna see some good old solid football get played this Sunday. Appreciate it.
The guy behind me, Travis Kelce, who's famous for his outfits. I was wondering if you could break some of these down for me.
Come on, man.
Play caller and the guys that are creating the plays, because you can have the most athletic guy in the world in your hand and on your team, but if you don't know how to use that guy and help him by putting him in certain situations to succeed as a coach, you're doing that player an injustice. So I mean, Coach Reid has done I can't thank him enough for how he's had trust in me to go out there and make plays with his team. But I think the tight end position will keep growing from here on out.
The way they use you, I mean, has it even expanded your mind on what the possibilities are at that your position?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just going to keep evolving as the offenses evolve. The tight end position is so unique. Justin, you always have a mismatch if the coaches know how to dial it up or use you right. And with that, I mean, all I can ask for is the opportunity to go out there and beat a man one-on-one. If you win your one-on-one matchups in this league, you're going to have a lot of success.
You see the size and the athleticism. Why do you think you're so good in the red zone?
I mean, big target, small windows, big body. We're usually guys that can take a hit and make a catch. And you got to take pride in that. You got to take pride in going up there in the trenches and making a catch, bringing one down for the team, for the better of the team. And it's I feel like that's league wide. That's stayed true throughout history, really, ever since. I mean, heck, the Kellen Winslow seniors to the Mike Dickers. You get in the end zone and you want to go ahead and feed the big man. Feed the big man in the paint. I got nothing prepared. No, I just want to get in the end zone, man. That's all I know.
Care what people think, like I just go up there and talk, like, and not be worried about anything, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's on certain days that I have the anxiety, but other days I feel like I just go up there with my boys. I can talk to them about anything all day, every day.
Do you feel like the more you prove yourself on the field and the more you've gotten to know these guys on your team,
right,
the easier it is to be calm and not have that? You don't have to impress them. You've already impressed
Right,
them.
yeah. I mean, I can talk to them about anything now. Like, it's just once I get up there, like, public speaking, like, it's not my best thing, but I've been working on it. Like, the Cheese media people, like, they've been helping me out with a lot. They just telling me, like, I mean, you've been doing good at it. Just calm down and just talk to them. Like, every time I talk to the media, I'm like, man, I was nervous. They was like, now you did good. And I'll be like, man, thank you, bro. I know you're trying to help me out with my confidence. So the Cheese media people, they be helping me out a lot, too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate how genuine you are. That's always what I look for.
Yeah, I mean, they say I be 200 sometimes, what they tell me, so yeah.
And then, how did you prepare for those Thursday presentations?
I mean, I just did my research, like, on my topic that I was talking about. Like, if you know,
Third down, right?
yeah, third down. If you know what you're talking about, like, you can talk all day, like, and if you're interested in it, like, you can talk about it all day. So I just did my research and I just went up there and talked about it, try to give the guys the best information possible.
Where do you research? I mean,
I watch film.
Yeah.
So I just watch film
watch
when I'm
film
there.
of third downs specifically for the team you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we gotta do. Like, we all had a little, like, some people had first and second down. I had 3rd and 11 plus, so I just had to study, like, what they did on 3rd and 11 plus, and I just had to go up there and talk about it.
Perfect. And what do you want my readers reading this story to know about you?
About me? Me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a great young man. I'm a humble young man. I'm real humble. I mean, I love people. I always try to do good by people. I'm just a humble young man. I'm quiet. I'm laid back, but I mean, I try to help people out in the best way I can. I try to loan to people, donate to people. So, I mean, I'm just a great young man. I got a lot of talent in the field, and I'm going to be a great player one day.
And last question, then I'll let her go. This book, you are a badass. How do you become a badass? Or what's the key to being a badass?
I mean, you just gotta believe in yourself, be confident in yourself. Like, you gotta meditate sometimes. Sometimes you might have to read a little more. You might have to write a little more. Write your feelings down. Write what you're feeling. I mean, you gotta talk to people. I mean, you just gotta try new things as well. Like, you gotta go out there and take chances. Be bold. Like, just go out there and be bold. Take chances on whatever you want to take a chance on, and your confidence is gonna grow. Cause like you can accomplish like anything you want to. So, I mean, just go out there and just be bold and take a side of anything, and you will be like where you want to be in life.
That's not good enough, right? Like, I need other guys with me to play well, and I think that's the responsibility I have, and I think that's just the mission I've been on since. I try to get Justin Reid to play better last year. I felt like he did. I tried to lift that secondary last year. I felt like I did, and even this year, that's why I came here to kind of take on that challenge of, being a leader, right? Like accepting that responsibility, not hiding under guys like Patrick Peterson or J.J. Watt, like embracing it. And I feel like that's what I've been trying to do.
How did you develop the way you see the game, like the way that you're
I tell people it's really an underrated thing, right? Like to have a good coach growing up. I feel like I had a great coach in high school, man, and he taught me football, like 101. And I think those things have kind of helped me be comfortable playing anywhere on the football field. I understand leverage, I understand situations, and I'm just like field aware. And so I credit a lot of that to my coach growing up, right? Because a lot of those things are second nature now. Like, I don't really think about it. I just know when to get outside, when to get inside. I know when to snap blitz. So I feel like I've been trained the right way. And I got to credit a lot of that to my coaches, that I've had.
What goes through your mind when you see him make crazy plays like he normally does?
Man, that's Pat. I think just Pat knowing what Pat does, and next play.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep. Hey man, we here, media day. It's a lot of media in here. We having fun. We ready to go. Ready to get on this field, go practice, hone on our craft. Go Reid, let's go. Pat, go throw the ball. Tyree, go run fast. Sammy, be explosive. D-Rob, do your thing. Just a couple things. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it.
Yeah, I think Kittle does that better than anybody in the league. Is just going out there and being himself and playing hard. Honestly, I forget how it got around to me that he would have appreciated a jersey if I got it to him. So sure enough, I was like, oh, it's a no-brainer, man. I was asking him if he could send one back to me. I finally got one later in I think in the summer. I think I got one from him. But that thing's going up on the wall for sure, man. Oh yeah, he sent one back over to me, man. It was cool, yeah. We have fun playing with each other, man. We have fun playing for each other, with each other, and then on the field, it's just it's one goal of mine, and that's to score touchdowns as a team. We're not worried about the individual accolades. We're worried about getting that ball in the end zone and winning a Super Bowl. Not much. I mean, I want to say I put more preparation in, but honestly, I remembered going above and beyond in terms of preparation and trying to be ready for the game last year. I think the biggest thing is that you just you gain confidence knowing that, man, we were right there. In your mind, obviously, the woulda, coulda, shouldas are rolling around, and you think you should have been there or you could have been there. But at the end of the day, we weren't, and I had to find a way to channel that energy into motivating me to never be in that situation ever again.
I think that goes a long way. Sam, you grew up on the other side of Alligator Alley. As a kid, when do you first remember dreaming of playing in this game?
Oh man, first I never thought I would play in the Super Bowl, honestly. I always knew I would somehow be in the NFL, but I never thought this day would come. It's amazing. Like I said, I've been through all these trials and tribulations with injuries, being down, being depressed, coming in the league at 19, having all this money, and you're like, man, it's not what it's about. Losing and stuff like that, and now my career has been did a whole 360. I'm one of the best teams in the world. I've been to the playoffs 3 times within 3 years. And my whole life is starting to turn around. I'm married, I got kids. I have my parents, I have my family supporting me, my coaches, my teammates. It's one of the best feelings ever.
Have so much fun out there. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is, second nature, man. In a sense that, I try to strain myself in practice, and, I've had some good coaches in my life, and so a lot of this stuff I've seen before in my sleep, right? Maybe I've seen them in a game. Maybe I've seen them when I daydream. I just see certain plays all day, and I feel it. Yeah, I think it's infectious, right? Like Dan Sorensen does it, I think people love it. Like they love to feel like, hey man, wow, I made that play. Like, yo, I am kind of smart. Yeah. Man, Sam is, first of all, he's top of the line, man. So professional and respectable. He's approachable as well, man. I think Sam could kind of come in the room and, make the room feel comfortable. Sam was one of those players, man. He was feisty. He'd get up in your face. He loved to play press man coverage. He was a big time football player back in his day. And I think he tries to bring the same thing to coaching, man. I think about the impact he's had, really on Breland and Ward, right? Those guys were playing really good football as cornerbacks, playing bump and run coverage, man-to-man coverage, really week in and week out. I think a lot of that credit has to go to Sam, right, and what he's been able to do with those guys week in and week out. And I think those guys have committed to the things that Sam has been teaching. And Sam is such a good guy, man. I think he's a guy we could trust, and I think as players, you want to play for people like that. Yeah, man. Obviously, we all go through, our fair share of struggles and hard times. But, I've seen Sam be the same person each and every day, man. The man always has a smile on his face. I think he's so blessed and grateful to be here. And I think he wants us to appreciate the moment, right? He told us a story, about him, having to wait 11, 12 years, right, before he can even play in a Super Bowl. And so just appreciate the moment, enjoy the moment, but, never forget what got you here, and that's family, that's hard work, things like that. Thank you. Yeah. It's crazy because I was talking to Anthony Hitchens yesterday, right, and we're going to get together later in the week, and we're going to go through like this 50-play, series, that was 50-play game, and we're going to just, name. Kind of said, I think I should give the speech, after we watched the film of the Niners, and he was like, yeah. So I've been thinking about this since Tuesday, so I got about 3 days, so I'll get it right. This is going to be Friday. Yep. Yeah. We good?